Okay, so I am here today with Kevin Stanford, metal artist. He's also happens to be my dad. And I'm just going to ask him a couple questions today pertaining to his medium.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's get started. All right, so how long have you been blacksmithing?
I took my first class in Austin in '99. A friend at work told me about the craft and took an interest, and ever since then I've been reading and gathering tools and getting better.
Okay. So, have you always looked at blacksmithing as an art form, or did you start off thinking about it as like more functional purposes?
It's hard to remember. I think I did think of it as a utilitarian sort of craft mostly, understanding that there were artistic aspects to it, say in architectural work or, I never think I thought about sculpture at all back then, but realized that it was possible, and most artistic expression in blacksmithing to me then was a function of the architectural aspect, railings, etc.
And a lot of your work is still inspired by that, right? You do a lot of towers and little cities and castles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was younger, you had made, I remember you had like this little cart that you had or a bar and stuff, and then you just didn't do anything with it for a really long time. Then when I was in like high school or, 8th grade maybe, you got back into it. Why do you think that was?
Well, after my class in '99, I moved out here to El Dorado area and had some priorities like providing for my family, and I didn't have the background at the time, to immediately start making a living using blacksmithing. So I went to work building ranch fences and did that for probably 13, 14 years. Always keeping blacksmithing in mind, collecting tools, reading, sort of trying to keep up with the craft. Though I wasn't really forging a lot. Wasn't spending a lot of time working. Well, as a blacksmith.
So you never went to art school. If you could go back and change that, would you?
That's a good question. Early on, when I discovered sculpture and that metal, steel primarily was a good medium for that aspect of art. I thought, wow, too bad I didn't go to art school. But I've been told by people in art education and art business that maybe I'm at an advantage not having been to art school. I don't have no restrictions, there are no rules, really to hold me back. So I may not be following proper design principles at times, but that's it seems apparent, and that I can make decisions just based on other art that I like or art that I've looked at, to determine whether it's pleasing or not.
Okay, yeah. So you were very interested in art history. So who would you say some of your biggest inspirations are?
Well, the Benetton brothers, they're Italian brothers working in architectural and sculptural metalwork in the like 50s through the 80s, I believe. And some of their forms were really inspiring, and I was amazed by the scale at which they worked, and the size of the material, the heavy plate, torch cut and forged under these giant power hammers. Also, the 50s English metal sculptors are a huge influence to me. Reg Butler, Lynn Chadwick, several others in the geometry of Fear School. But those guys used primarily welding, but several of them were formerly blacksmiths before they embarked on their sculptural aspect of their life.
If you could try any other medium, what would it be?
I'd love to paint or sculpt with other materials, resin, casting, cast iron. I mean, there's just so many possibilities.
Yes, that's true.
Painting, though, I think I would like to do that. It's sort of scary to jump off and
Yeah.
go buy a canvas and some paints, and you have no clue what you're doing.
I mean, there's, you just got to practice. Practice makes perfect. Let's see, so, you're pretty involved in the San Angelo community. What are all the things that you do there?
I'm a member of the San Angelo Art Club, Kendall Gallery. They've been there since the 40s, I believe. They were instrumental in giving me foot in the door to enter shows. They have monthly shows, also member shows. So it was kind of the first place I ever showed my work. Let's see. Also, well, before the pandemic struck, I was pretty involved in the Chicken Farm Art Center. They have a little forge area. Roger Allen was adamant that forging was important to the art community, and I'm a firm believer that Roger was 100% right. Yeah, I try to get up there every first Saturday and demonstrate and show kids, introduce kids to the craft. I think that's important for the longevity and health of the craft.
So what about other communities that you're involved in? You're pretty, Instagram famous over here.
Shit. Instagram, it's a good support group for blacksmiths, sculptors, you name it. I'm a member of the Center for Contemporary Arts in Abilene. They've been really good to me. I just completed my second solo show there. They have monthly member shows, jury national shows. It's just part of their last one. Center for Contemporary Arts in Abilene. It's a good spot. Great people, and they have a really nice venue.
Yes, so you've had a couple shows there, right?
Yeah.
You've been in a couple. So what are, some of the best shows you've been in? Like the ones you were most proud of to get accepted into?
Recently in Fort Worth, there was Art Space 111. I think it was a national jury show, but I think there are over 2,000 pieces of art entered, and the juror chose, I believe it was 70 something pieces, so that was a big deal.
You also got a piece of the sculpture garden in Angelo.
Right.
That was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, the salmon biennial sculpture competition.
Yeah.
Very proud of that.
So let's see. Well, do you have any final thoughts or insights about your work?
Not really. Considering myself a blacksmith amongst all the people I know that are really great blacksmiths, it's sort of, I'm a little timid about that. I've got some the general skills, but I'm not an expert or master by any means, and I don't think, I ever will be, and that's fine. I spend a lot of time welding sculpture, has nothing to do with forging. I like found object sculpture. I've submitted a piece to a show that I had never done anything to. Several pieces like that. So there's a wide range of things I do. I think that's important for sculpture. Keep your mind open.
Well, it was great talking to you today. I got to see you.
Yeah.
With you. Okay. Well.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you.